There are films that are brilliant from the very first frame to the very last frame. These films are rare. There are other movies that start off really good, but then sort of sputter out. What can happen is the film starts off really good with all of its mystery and intrigue, and there's so many questions you can't wait to get answered. And then, when they finally start to get answered, the movie really crumbles and just fails. Gonjiam, Haunted Asylum, does neither of these things. In real life, CNN has listed Gonjiam Psychiatric Hospital as one of the freakiest places in the world. The film is structured around this normal, overly used setup premise where a bunch of ghost hunters go into an abandoned insane asylum and look for ghosts. The one slight difference is that they are planning to broadcast everything live. They are live broadcasting their experience and hoping to gain a bunch of cash. But in order to do this, obviously the views need to be up, and the captain of this experiment will be putting on some fakes to make sure viewers are many. Just like every other ghost hunting show. Naturally though, Gonjiam is actually haunted, and they are about to experience things like they never intended. You've seen this found footage setup before, right? It's not new. I mean, it doesn't even have to be a movie, it can be a TV show. How many ghost hunters have we seen on television go and investigate the Eastern State Penitentiary, searching for things that go bump in the night? Ghost hunters, ghost adventurers, MTV's Fear, Haunted Live. How many fake ghost paranormal investigator YouTubers have gone there to investigate? Seriously, this has been overdone. Overdone. In truth, these formats are so overly played that you kind of want to stay away from the found footage and go more towards the overly produced Hollywood version of this. And I love found footage, but I also love stylized versions too. Give me Jeffrey Rush doing his best Vincent Price and a little Ty Diggs, battling a twisted Jeffrey Combs in one of the great remakes of the 90s, House on Haunted Hill. But I am a huge found footage fan, and as there are so many great horror films coming out of South Korea, there's no reason why we shouldn't give Gonjiam a chance. Here's the simple truth. Every frame of this film is not brilliant. In fact, it starts off incredibly slow and really takes a while to get into its mojo. It does not start off with a lot of mystery and intrigue like you would hope. Gonjiam does the exact opposite. This is a 94-minute film, and you gotta kind of work at it to get through the first 55 minutes of it. But once you get by the first 55 minutes of the 94-minute film, it's actually pretty good. You gotta get through the team meeting up, you gotta get through the introductions, the setup of their camp outside of the asylum, and even when they're inside, the crew just talks a lot about the techniques for this live stream experience. It's quite boring. There's simply no tension, not between the characters who are there in it together, or the overall evil spirits and ghosts that are supposedly there. But the final 40 minutes or so hits you and hits you hard. It's a whole lot of fun with a whole lot of creepiness and a whole lot of bizarre sounds that you've never really heard in a horror movie. Some legit fear from the team and some legit menacing stalkers who are going to treat these investigators like the idiots that they are. God bless them. Enjoy the final part of this film. It is worth going through the first 55 minutes of this film to get to the final parts. The director does some really intriguing things here in order to scare his audience. Sometimes you gotta eat a crappy entree in order to get to the delicious dessert. And that's what Gonjiam is here. When all is said and done, I do like an asylum film that has a little bit more story and a little bit more originality and a little bit more in terms of characterization. It can be found footage, but it really doesn't have to be. I'm thinking Session 9 here is more the way to go. You got strong acting, tension between characters, several motives with subplots, and a creepy-ass asylum that's gonna make your skin crawl. Lastly, I cannot stand the look of a GoPro 6 inches from the actor's face. I hate that shot. I don't want to look up a person's nose throughout the entire film. Sure, if it's the Blair Witch Project, I am looking up those nostrils because that is gold. Other than that though, I don't want to do it. Although this film does have some big issues to it, I do think it's worth watching for the final 40 minutes of this film. It's a fun little ride at the end there. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow.